This is the 5th year revision sheet 2015, and this is question 1, part A. Let's solve the simultaneous equations. A squared minus AB plus B squared is equal to 3, and A plus 2B plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so these are your two simultaneous equations. One is the more difficult equation with the a squared and the b squared in it, and the ab, and the other is the easier equation, or the linear equation. So step 1, take the easier equation, a plus 2b plus 1 equal to 0, and rearrange. So I'm going to get a on its own. A is equal to minus 2b minus 1. I'm going to take my more difficult equation, a squared minus ab plus b squared is equal to 3. And everywhere I see a, I'm going to put in minus 2b minus 1. All to be squared, minus, instead of a, minus 2b minus 1 by b. And then plus b squared is equal to 3. And then I'm just going to simplify it. So minus 2b minus 1 by minus 2b minus 1. And then minus into minus 2b squared minus b, multiplying the b in, plus b squared is equal to 3. So this is going to give me 4b squared plus 2b plus 1, and then I'm going to bring in my minus, plus 2b squared minus by minus plus b squared is equal to 3. So I have 4b squared and 2b squared and 1b squared, which is 7b squared, and I have 2b plus 2b, which is 4b plus 1b, which is 5b, and then I have my plus 1 and my minus 3, so it's 7b squared plus 5b minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so now I have a quadratic equation all in terms of b. So to factorize, so it's going to be 7b by b, okay, and it's going to be 2 by 1, and it's going to be the plus and the minus. This is your minus 2b and your 7b, which give me my 5b in the middle. So it's going to be 7b minus 2 equal to 0, and b plus 1 equal to 0. 7b is equal to 2, b is equal to 2 7s, and b is equal to minus 1. Okay, so now that I've solved for b, I'm going to solve for a. Okay, so I'm just going to go up here and solve for a. So I already know that a is equal to minus 2b minus 1 is equal to minus 2b minus 1. Now I have my two values for b. B is equal to 2 7s and b is equal to minus 1. So a is equal to minus 2 by 2 7s, take away 1. A is equal to minus 4 7s, take away 1. So a is equal to minus 4 7s minus 7 7s, so a is equal to minus 11 7s, which is minus 1 and 4 7s. And b is equal to, so a is equal to minus 2 by minus 1 minus 1. A is equal to 2, take away 1, a is equal to 1. So when b is 2 7s, a is minus 1 and 4 7s, and then b is minus 1, a is 1. Okay, so part B of this particular question, okay, is an inequality, and it's find the set of all real values for x, and you're told that 2x minus 5 all over x minus 3 is less than or equal to 5 over 2. Okay, it's a rational inequality, it's a fraction. Okay, so remember, when solving inequalities, you've got to ensure that the direction of the inequality sign is taken into consideration. So remember, the direction of the inequality sign changes if you multiply across by a negative number or divide across by a negative number. So therefore, it is important to always ensure that when you're multiplying across, when it's a rational inequality, that you multiply across by something that you know is positive. And if you look at your x minus 3, the only way that you can ensure that that is positive is by multiplying across by the square of the denominator, by the square, by x minus 3 all to be squared, because anything that's squared is always positive. So that's your first step in solving a rational inequality. So it's x minus 3 all to be squared by 2x minus 5 all over x minus 3 less than or equal to x minus 3 all to be squared by 5 over 2. Okay, so there's our x minus 3 on the bottom gone, so it's x minus 3 by 2x minus 5 less than or equal to x minus 3 by x minus 3 and by 5 all over 2. So we're left with 2x squared, and we're left with minus 5x and minus 6x, and then we're left with plus 15 less than or equal to x squared minus 3x plus 9 all by 5 over 2. Okay, now so to simplify it, 2x squared minus 11x plus 15 less than or equal to x squared minus 6x plus 9 by 5 over 2. Now I can multiply across by my 2 because it's a positive 2, and I know that it won't affect the direction of the inequality. So 2 by 2x squared minus 11x plus 15 less than or equal to, and I'm just going to put my 5 on the outside, x squared minus 6x plus 9. Okay, so I'm going to get 4x squared minus 22x plus 30 less than or equal to 5x squared minus 30x plus 45. Okay, now I'm just going to bring all my terms to one side, and because this 5x squared is positive here, I'm going to bring over the 4x squared, so just not to have to deal with negative signs. Okay, so less than or equal, I'm going to clear out the left hand side, so I'm going to have 5x squared minus 4x squared, I'm going to have minus 30x plus 22x, and I'm going to have 45 minus 30. So I'm going to be left with x squared minus 8x plus 15. Okay, so remember when you're reading this now, it's x squared minus 8x plus 15 is greater than or equal to 0, because you're reading from the x side. So they is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I'm going to factorize it. So it's x and x, and it's going to be 5 and 3 and a minus and a minus. Okay, now I'm just going to write down my two values for x. Okay, I know x is equal to, so x minus 3 equals 0, x is equal to 3, and x is equal to 5. Okay, now I have to go back and look at my inequality. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to draw my diagram. Okay, the only way of ensuring that this is done correctly. Okay, so straight away we know that this is a quadratic function, x squared, an x and a number. Okay, we know that it is going to be a u-shaped function because the sign in front of the x squared is positive, and we know that it's going to cut the x-axis at 5 and 3. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, and we also know that the function or the graph is greater than or equal to 0, so the graph is greater than or equal to 0. As you can see here, x squared minus 8x plus 15, which is your quadratic function, your quadratic graph is greater than or equal to 0. So we know this is 3, we know this is 5. So where is our graph greater than or equal to 0? Remember, the graph is the quadratic function, which is f of x, and remember f of x is the same as y. So where are our y values greater than or equal to 0? So here's our y-axis, and above here, from above the x-axis on the y-axis, we know our y values are positive or greater than or equal to 0. So our graph, our values that we're looking for are out on either side. Okay, so we're going to have x values which are going to be to the left of 3, so are going to be less than or equal to 3, and x values which are going to be greater than or equal to 5, and that is your inequality.